Welcome to the KEP Knowledge English Podcast. I'm your host, James Rivers, and I'm thrilled to have you join us on this journey of learning and discovery.
And I'm Sophia Wells. Whether you're looking to improve your English skills or dive into insightful discussions on a range of topics, you're in the right place.
Here on KEP, we explore everything from language learning tips to thought-provoking conversations that will challenge your perspective and expand your knowledge.
Each episode will bring you fresh insights, practical advice, and a little bit of fun along the way. So grab your headphones and let's get started.
This is KEP Knowledge English Podcast. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm James, your co-host, and today's topic is going to blow your mind.
Yup, buckle up, friends. Because what if I told you that becoming fluent in English doesn't require thousands of hours or thousands of words?
Right? Most people think you need to master the entire dictionary to speak English fluently, but here's the truth. We're about to talk about how just 5,000 words can unlock over 90% of daily conversations.
Wait, hold up, James. Did you just say 5,000? That's like the number of songs I have saved on my playlist. That doesn't sound like much.
Exactly. That's the point. It's not about how many words you know. It's about knowing the right words and actually using them. And today, we're diving into how you can start doing that, even if you're busy, overwhelmed, or just starting from zero.
And listen, I get it. I tried learning French in college, and the first thing they threw at me was grammar drills and future tense verbs. I was like, I just want to ask where the bathroom is, not write poetry.
Been there. And that's where this podcast comes in. We keep it simple, real, and totally doable. No complicated grammar lessons, no boring lectures. Just real-world English, step by step.
If you're someone who keeps saying, one day I'll speak English fluently, well, friend, this might be your day because we're breaking down fluency in a way that's finally going to make sense.
So grab your coffee, go for a walk, or just sit back and listen, because this episode could change the way you learn English forever.
And hey, don't go anywhere. Later, I'll share how my Italian pizza order turned into a full conversation with the waiter, thanks to just 200 words. It was deliciously fluent, if I do say so myself.
Let's get into it. Ready?
Let's go.
All right, before we get into the how, let's talk about the what. Because a lot of people throw around the word fluency without really understanding what it means.
Oh my gosh, yes. I've had so many friends say, I'm not fluent because I still make mistakes. But guess what? I make mistakes in English, and I was born speaking it.
Exactly. Fluency doesn't mean speaking like a native. It doesn't mean sounding like you grew up in Chicago or London. Fluency means you can express yourself clearly and smoothly. That's it.
It's about flow, not perfection. Like, imagine you're talking to someone and they ask, Hey, what did you do yesterday? If you can respond with something like, I went to the store, bought some groceries, then watched a movie, boom, you're fluent.
You didn't use fancy words. You didn't break any grammar world records. But you communicated. That's fluency.
Honestly, I think people confuse fluency with performance. Like you have to deliver a TED talk or something. No way. It's more like chatting with your neighbor or ordering coffee without panic.
Yes, and get this. Fluency also includes understanding. Can you follow a podcast without needing a dictionary every 10 seconds? Can you read a short article and get the general idea? That's fluency too.
Totally. It's not just about talking, it's listening, reading, even thinking in English. Like when your brain stops translating from your native language and just gets it.
And let's be honest, fluency is a spectrum. You don't go from zero to perfect. You go from struggling to comfortable to confident. It's a journey.
So if you're listening right now and thinking, I don't feel fluent yet, that's okay. That's normal. You're in the middle of it. And the fact that you're here understanding this podcast, that already says a lot.
So take a deep breath. Forget perfection. Fluency is about connection, not correctness.
Ooh, that's good. We should put that on a t-shirt.
Let's trademark it. Coming up next, we'll talk about why focusing on vocabulary, not grammar, might be your biggest fluency breakthrough.
Oof, this is the part that changed everything for me.
All right, let's get into the good stuff. So many English learners think they need to master grammar first before they can even start talking.
Ugh, yes. I remember trying to memorize every tense, past perfect, future continuous, present whatever. It was like building a house with no bricks. I couldn't say anything.
That's the perfect way to put it. Vocabulary is your building material. Grammar's important, sure, but without words, what are you putting together?
Exactly. You could have the best grammar in the world, but if you don't know how to say coffee or bus, how are you going to survive even a day in an English speaking country?
And here's the wild part. Native speakers use just a small chunk of English every day, about 3,000 to 5,000 words. That's it.
Wait, really? So they're not secretly using all those SAT words like gregarious and juxtaposition?
Nope, not unless they're in a poetry club. Most people stick to the basics, and research shows the top 5,000 words cover around 90 to 95% of all daily conversations.
That's such a relief. Because when I was starting out, I thought I had to learn every word in the dictionary just to say, Hi, how are you?
You really don't. In fact, if you focus on common, practical words, stuff like go, want, need, eat, like, you'll start understanding conversations, YouTube videos, even songs way faster.
And you can build confidence. Like, I remember when I finally learned the words ticket, train, and late. That was the day I survived my first train ride in Berlin without panic. Victory.
See? Those three words save the day. So here's the takeaway. Don't wait until your grammar is perfect. Start with the words that get used the most. That's where fluency begins.
Yes, learn the words you actually need, not archipelago or photosynthesis unless you're doing a science report.
Right. Start with the words that move your day forward. The grammar will come as you use those words more and more.
Coming up, we're going to show you how to learn those 5,000 words in a smart, simple way. No cramming, no tears, I promise.
Let's make it easy and effective. So now that we know what words to focus on, those top 5,000 everyday essentials, let's talk about how to actually learn them.
Please. Yes, because if you tell me to memorize a giant word list, I'm already asleep, like Snore City.
Totally fair. Old school memorization doesn't work for most people. It's boring and your brain forgets half of it by lunch.
Exactly. I once tried to learn 50 words in one night for a quiz. The next morning, I could only remember apple, and I hate apples.
So let's learn smarter, not harder. First tip, start with a frequency list. These are ranked lists of the most common English words. You can find them online for free. Start with the top 1,000 and build from there.
They're great because they're practical. Like you'll see want, go, make right away. Stuff you can use immediately.
Exactly. And once you've got the list, don't just stare at it. Use flashcards. They're a classic tool for a reason. You can make them yourself or use apps like Anki or Quizlet.
I love flashcard apps because they sneak learning into my day. Waiting in line? Flashcards. Sitting on the toilet? Flashcards. Don't judge me.
No judgment here. Another key feature of those apps? Spaced repetition. They show you hard words more often and easy ones less often, so your brain remembers better over time.
Oh, yeah, it's like your brain's personal trainer. You keep forgetting through? Cool. We're going to hit that word until you remember it in your dreams.
Exactly. And here's the real secret: learn words in context. Don't just memorize the word run. Learn it in a sentence like, she runs to the store every morning.
It helps so much. When I learn a word with the sentence, I remember the feeling, the rhythm, the grammar, everything.
Context makes it stick. So instead of random words floating in your brain, you've got full ideas that you can actually use in conversation.
All right, now that your word learning game is on point, let's talk about the fun part, using those words to actually speak English. Yes, out loud.
Coming up next, daily speaking habits that build real fluency. All right, let's get into the part where most people freeze up. Speaking. You've learned the words, maybe even memorized a few sentences. But when it's time to talk, silence.
Oh man, this was me for years. I could read and understand movies, but ask me to say anything in English? I'd suddenly forget how to breathe.
Totally normal. A lot of learners get stuck in their heads. They know the words, but they haven't trained their mouths to actually say them out loud.
It's like going to the gym, but only watching workout videos. No sweat, no progress.
Exactly. Fluency isn't just about knowing the language, it's about using it out loud every day, even if you're alone.
Okay, real tip here. I started talking to myself out loud at home. Okay, now I'm making tea. Where's my mug? Oh, I left it in the microwave again. Boom, English practice.
That's one of the best exercises. Describe what you're doing, narrate your day. It may feel weird at first, but it builds confidence fast.
And once you get used to hearing your own voice in English, it doesn't sound so scary anymore. It's like you and your brain are finally on speaking terms.
Another great method is the shadowing technique. You play a short English clip, just one sentence, and then repeat it immediately, copying the speaker's rhythm, tone, even emotion.
I tried that with movie lines. I kept pausing and saying them like the actor. I'll be back. Felt silly, but it worked.
It works because it connects listening and speaking. You're training your brain and mouth to work together, just like native speakers.
Also, record yourself. Yes, I know, you'll cringe, but it's gold. You hear what you sound like, catch mistakes, and then fix them. It's like a mini feedback loop.
It's not about being perfect. It's about building fluency through repetition. Just 15 minutes a day speaking out loud can completely transform your confidence.
And remember, no one gets fluent just by listening. You've got to talk, mess up, repeat. That's the real secret sauce.
Next up, we'll talk about how context makes all of this even easier and more powerful. So, we've covered the importance of speaking out loud, but here's something that makes everything stick even faster: context.
Ugh, yes. Context is the secret sauce. I mean, have you ever learned a new word and then immediately forgotten it 2 minutes later?
Absolutely. That usually happens when you learn a word by itself. Like, if I just tell you the word bank, you're left wondering, what kind? Money bank? River bank? A sharp turn in a plane?
Exactly. But if I say I went to the bank to get cash, boom. Now you get it. It's about money. The sentence paints the picture.
That's what context does. It fills in the meaning. And when your brain sees how a word lives in real situations, it holds on to it.
I remember learning the word rush. I thought it meant speed, right? But then I heard someone say, I was in a rush, so I skipped breakfast. Suddenly it clicked. Not just speed, it's that panicky morning chaos I know too well.
Same. That's why we always recommend learning new words in full sentences. Not decided to choose, but something like, I decided to study English before bed every night.
It's like a two-for-one deal. You get the vocabulary and a sneak peek at grammar all in one go.
And it doesn't stop there. Reading short stories, listening to podcasts, or watching shows with subtitles, that's context in action. You're not just learning words, you're learning how they live.
One thing that helped me, watching sitcoms in English. The jokes, the body language, the tone, it all helps the language feel more real and memorable.
That's the key. Context connects the meaning, emotion, tone, and structure. And suddenly, English isn't just words, it's communication.
So next time you learn a word, don't just memorize it, live with it. Say it in a sentence, see it in a scene, or write it in a story.
Coming up next, we'll show you how to take all these words and actually use them with real people. Yes, even if you don't live in an English speaking country. All right, so we've got the words, we've got the context, but now comes the real challenge actually using English in your everyday life.
This is where it gets real. People, you can study all day, but if you never use English out in the wild, it'll stay trapped in your brain like a forgotten sock in the dryer.
Great analogy. And here's the thing, not everyone lives in an English speaking country, but that doesn't mean you can't live an English speaking lifestyle.
Yes, you can create your own English world. For starters, talk to yourself. Like, seriously, when you're cooking, say what you're doing. I'm chopping the onions. Now I'm boiling the pasta.
You don't need hours. Just 10 or 15 minutes a few times a week makes a difference. And if you're shy, start with text, then work up to voice messages or calls.
And let's not forget about social media. Follow creators who speak English. Change your phone's language settings. Leave comments in English. Even short ones like nice video or I love this. It counts.
It's about making English a part of your everyday habits, not just something you study, but something you live.
Also, try writing, even just one sentence a day. I had a great day. I learned a new word. Helpful. Small steps. Start big progress.
Exactly. And every time you use a word in real life, you reinforce it in your brain. Use it or lose it, right?
Use English to live your life, not just pass a test. That's where the magic happens.
Coming up next, we'll talk about the common mistakes that slow people down and how to dodge them like a language learning ninja. All right, let's have an honest talk about something every English learner deals with: mistakes.
Oh boy, mistakes, my favorite frenemy. You want to avoid them, but honestly, they're the best teachers.
Couldn't agree more. One of the biggest roadblocks to fluency is the fear of getting it wrong. People wait and wait for the perfect sentence and end up saying nothing at all.
Yup, been there. I used to rehearse full conversation in my head and then completely freeze when someone said, Hi. It's like abort mission.
And you know what? That's totally normal. But here's the truth: if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not using the language enough.
Preach. Mistake number one, memorizing words but never using them. Like, great, you know the word umbrella, but if you never say it out loud or write it in a sentence, it vanishes.
Exactly. Learning isn't just input, it's output. You need to say, write, read, and hear those words in real situations.
Mistake number two, obsessing over grammar. Look, grammar matters, but not as much as people think. If you say, I go to the store, people still understand. You'll survive.
And guess what? You'll remember that mistake. Next time your brain goes, oh, wait, it's went. That's how real learning happens.
Mistake number three, focusing on big, rare words like sustainability or globalization before learning basics like eat or need. Come on, people, crawl before you run.
Totally. And mistake number 4, the classic, I'll start speaking when I'm ready. Newsflash. You get ready by speaking, not the other way around.
Exactly. The more you wait, the harder it gets. Start now, start messy. Talk to your dog, talk to your coffee mug, just talk.
Mistakes aren't signs of failure. They're signs of progress. You're moving. You're trying. That's what matters.
So next time you mess up, smile. You just got one step closer to fluency.
Coming up, we're diving into how to stay consistent and keep your motivation alive, even when progress feels slow. All right, so you've got the tools, the strategies, and even the mindset to embrace mistakes. But now comes the part most learners struggle with, sticking with it.
Ugh, consistency. The word we all love to hate. It's like going to the gym. You go hard for 2 days and then suddenly your yoga mat becomes a shoe rack.
Exactly. And learning English is the same way. Motivation is great, but it fades. That's why you need something stronger, habits.
Yes. And here's what helped me lowering the pressure. Instead of saying, I need to study for an hour every day, I switched to, let me do 5 minutes of English while brushing my teeth. Boom, habit formed.
Small wins matter. 5 minutes might seem like nothing, but do it every day, and it adds up fast. It's way better than doing 2 hours once a month.
Also, set goals you can actually reach. Don't say, I want to be fluent. That's too vague. Say, I'll learn 5 new words this week, or I'll listen to one podcast episode today.
That's a great point. Clarity creates momentum, and the more progress you see, the more motivated you'll feel to keep going.
And don't forget to make it fun. Watch your favorite shows in English, listen to music, play games. If it feels like a chore, your brain's going to check out.
Totally. You don't need to study like you're taking a final exam. You just need to keep English in your life every single day, even in small ways.
Oh, and one more tip track your streak. I put a little check mark on my calendar every day I do something in English. It feels so good to not break the chain.
That's powerful. Visual reminders can make a huge difference. Even one sentence a day, one conversation, one new word, it's all part of the journey.
So don't wait for motivation to strike. Create your routine and let the results keep you going.
Up next, our final thoughts on how to truly live in English, not just study it. Don't miss this one. So here we are, the final stretch. And if there's one big idea we want you to walk away with today, it's this. Don't just study English, live in it.
Yes, because English fluency doesn't happen in a classroom or a textbook. It happens in the middle of life, in messy conversations, awkward pauses, and laughing at your own mispronunciations.
Exactly. Language is a tool, not a trophy. You use it to connect, to laugh, to ask for directions, to tell your story. And the only way to get better at it is to use it.
I remember when I was learning Spanish and finally stopped translating everything in my head. I was in a bakery and I just blurted out my order. It wasn't perfect, but the guy understood me and I got my croissant. Success.
That's what fluency looks like. Not perfect grammar, not fancy vocabulary, just real communication.
So don't wait for the perfect day or the perfect accent or a full vocabulary. Use what you know now and keep adding to it, one word, one moment at a time.
Surround yourself with English. Change your phone settings. Talk to yourself while doing laundry. Watch your favorite shows with English subtitles. Let English become part of your world, not just a task on your to-do list.
And be proud of every step. If you understood 50% of this podcast, are amazing. That's 50% more than yesterday. You're not starting from zero, you're building something real.
Fluency isn't a finish line. It's a feeling. It's when you realize, hey, I just had a whole conversation, didn't freak out.
So keep going, keep speaking, keep listening, keep making mistakes and learning from them.
And most of all, keep living in English.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend who's learning too. Let's grow this community.
Until next time, stay curious, stay consistent, and stay connected. We'll see you soon.
Bye, friends, and remember, your fluency is already in motion.